We're live. Welcome to the Instantly Show. This is Thursday, August what? 20th, 2026. We're going live on YouTube X and LinkedIn. Like, subscribe. We're gonna have a very awesome guest today, so I really need your support in terms of the questions because he's gonna be giving us a walkthrough of his own software as well as some learnings throughout the journey. So if you want to ask anything, please leave it in the comments. Now, also in the comment section, you will find a link to subscribe to our weekly go-to-market newsletter where we post all the strategies that our guests share on the show in text-free format. We don't spam you. We share only the latest trends, tools, and the strategies with the discounts that you will not find anywhere else because we can. So my guest today is Luke Alexander, and he's the founder and CEO of Kendo AI. Before this, he trained over 5,000 sales reps and once did $4.5 million in a single week running a sales team. He built Kendo into AI sales manager that reviews every call your team takes, and it just crossed $1 million in ARR, bootstrapped, nothing raised. Now, later in the show, he's gonna open up the software and show us both how basically review a live sales call and how this aligns with all the other AI tools in the toolbox that you can learn from, right? I'm pretty sure you can get away with quite a lot of useful information. Now, this is going to be our lineup today, right? We're gonna review some news for a few minutes, then we're gonna have Luke joining us. Then he's gonna be giving us a call review plus AI role play walkthrough, and then we are gonna talk more. Okay. Now, Castelion raised just over $1 billion at $13 billion valuation. And what they do is hypersonic missiles. Their first one is called Blackbird. And the whole pitch is that it's cheap and you can mass produce it. The company is 4 years old, started by 3 former SpaceX executives, and they are running the SpaceX playbooks on weapons. Built everything in-house, that's hardware, constantly design it so the factory can pump them up. Look, in the perfect world, this is not the type of the news that I want to review, right? In the perfect world, I don't really want these companies raising money and these companies exist, right? But unfortunately, we all know that we're not living in a perfect world. So the companies like this that produce weapons are in demand, especially right now, especially in the last few years. So just the reality that we all need to live with. Ramp bought the domain router.com and launched its own AI router. And the timing of the story is crazy. Now, obviously, so that you understand what the router does, instead of signing up for OpenAI, Anthropic, Google separately, you pinged into one router and it sends each up whichever model is best or cheaper. It also tracks what you are spending. So it's basically like one API key that is replacing everything. Now, the reason why the timing is crazy is because 3 days ago, Stripe agreed to buy OpenRouter. Like literally the news that we've been reviewing the whole week. The deal was, finishing up for $7 billion. And obviously, OpenRouter connects to about 400 models. Then on the same day, Stripe announced it ramped launched theirs. So Cursor has also shipped the routing tools in the last few weeks. Now, of course, it's like, I'm not sure, is it like an... I don't think that it's a coincidence, but of course, the fact that Stripe is talking with OpenRouter the rumors were going around for quite a few months, and I think that Ramp like planned it out. And if you know Ramp, they are the goats when it comes to social media business marketing, and Ramp's angle makes sense. They are $44 billion spend management company, and tokens just became a top line item for their customers. So they say early users save 40% to whatever they've been using before. Super cool news, cool timing. Another tool. Love to see the competition. Replit launched something called free mode with OpenAI. And the first thing to say is that, I mean, it's not really free. So it's for people already paying the $20 a month and the $100 a month plan. What it gives you is a separate lane that doesn't eat your token budget. So you can chat, think out loud, run small jobs without burning the credits you're already paying for. So kinda interesting. It runs on Luna, which is cheapest model on OpenAI 5.6 family, about 80% cheaper than their top one. And the only reason it's still exists is that OpenAI cut Luna's price by 80% on July 30th. So, I mean, it's free basically for the people who are already paying, but I mean, I would take it. I would take it because that's cool. That's genuinely cool. And again, like after we reviewed that OpenAI cut the cost by 80%, now it kind of like makes sense. Of course, Replit is gonna eat some of this price, but the fact that they are sharing this news is gonna attract way more attention. That it's gonna result in more revenue afterwards for them. Executives from Ripple, Coinbase, Kraken, and Chainlink went to a crypto summit at the White House. The reason people are talking about this is who's being in the room. These are the biggest crypto companies in America sitting down with administration to shape the rules that will govern them. Ripple is practically is one of the longest guys in the space. They spent years fighting the SEC in court. One reply that got picked up said, quote, Ripple finally got the seat it wanted, obviously in the White House, which is the biggest seat of all the seats right now. And that's the whole tension. Either this is an industry finally being taken seriously by its own government, or it's companies being regulated, helping write the regulations for themselves. Stripe sent a letter to investors saying that Singularity has already started. Their actual words, quote, it's funny and perhaps already overworked term, but we decided that January 1st marked the beginning of the Singularity, and we have since been operating on that basis. Then they explained why, quote, the Singularity is often invoked alongside millenarian forecast. My gosh. So I need to work on that pronunciation. So it's millenarian. I honestly don't even know what the word means, but yeah, apologies for that. But in our case, we simply saw a large inflection in long-term trend. For example, a huge increase in the rate of new firm creation, and we decided that we out to take the phase change seriously. I don't know. So some don't like this news. I'm sorry. I don't really like it. So like some generic BS that is usually sent to investors to hype them up. I don't know. Seems something in this nature. Now, the good news compared to the previous piece is that Anthropic passed OpenAI in quarterly revenue for the first time. The numbers from the Wall Street Journal: Anthropic did $11.6 billion in the second quarter, more than double the quarter before, and they've made a small operating profit. OpenAI did $6.7 billion, up 18%, and their operating loss got wider from 9.3 billion to 12.3 billion. So one of them is roughly twice of the size on revenue and made money. The other lost more than its entire revenue in the last 3 months. Now, the explanation everyone gives is the same. ChatGPT's growth slowed down the Claude Code took off the developers, which means the thing that flipped the industry wasn't the chatbot everybody uses, it was the tool for programmers, which tells a lot, I think, about the entirety of the market. Now, a cool date: 22 years ago, Google went public at $23 billion valuation. Today, Alphabet is worth $4.2 trillion. They crossed 4 trillion back in January, and right now they are the third most valuable company on earth. The market cap is up more than 150 times since that day. To put obviously 22 years into perspective, they went public where there was no iPhone for all of you youngsters, right? Like Gen Z guys who grew up with iPhones, no YouTube, no Android, no Chrome. So the entire company was search and ads only. Their IPO was also famously strange. They used a Dutch auction instead of letting the banks set the price, which Wall Street hated because it cut the banks out of the first day. Pop. Yep. I mean, just very, very interesting date and legendary. I would say legendary date for legendary thing for the entire market, right? Okay, so let's see if we are having our guest joining us right now. Let's see right here. So Luke is about to join us. Okay. My today's guest, Luke Alexander, founder and CEO of Kendo AI. Before this startup, he trained over 5,000 sales reps and once did $4.5 million in a single week, which is honestly hard to believe, but I guess like this is true. Running a sales team, he built Kendo into AI sales manager that reviews every call your team takes, and it just crossed $1 million in ARR. Bootstrapped, nothing raised, and still doesn't pay himself, unfortunately. Look, welcome to the show. Can you hear us? Can you see us?
Yes, sir. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Look, very first question that I have here, based on my research, at 21 years old, you were making 100K a month, and then you quit and sold your G Wagon. So, do you regret selling the G
No,
or no?
no, not at all. Not
Eh,
at all. I did it backwards. Most people, they typically like start a company and then they make money later. We were in the info product space first originally, and now I'm doing the real founder thing with a bootstrap software company. So we bought all this stuff first, but no regret. I had a conversation about this with a YC founder yesterday,
uh-huh.
and we were talking, and I told him, I was like, dude, the feeling of building and actually being in the game and like winning is way better than anything you could do. Travel, cars, who cares?
But I'm curious from a personal standpoint. So, like, when you sold the car, so did you actually needed the money, or you just hated the lifestyle in
No,
general, and you thought,
it's a stupid thing. It's a stupid thing to have
okay,
when you're bootstrapping a company and you don't want to raise capital, so you're trying to, throw more in. Like, why do you have a $250,000 car instead of throwing the money into your business?
right? What is interesting about your story is, sure, you crossed the 1 million ARR, congrats.
Thank
But
you.
you're also saying that you were closing all of the deals yourself, even
So far,
though, again, you
yeah.
trained a lot of the sales reps. And I'm pretty sure that you could get killers to the company selling the software. So, what was the play here, and why only now you're kind of starting to look at, account executives and stuff?
Yeah, we're hiring now. I need to expand quite rapidly. One, I mean, there's a few reasons. One, no one is out closing myself on my own company. Like we taught sales because we were good at sales. So
Yeah.
no one is going to beat, what I can do on a call. And then two, I think as a good founder, especially with AI now, you got to be talking to customers. You got to be talking to potential customers as much as possible. Like I think you should, for the first year of your business, if you launch a software company, you should take all the sales calls. You learn so much more than you'll ever learn from, doing research or asking an LLM or something, just being boots on the ground, talking to people that want to buy your product.
Hmm. That's interesting. And in terms of the growth, where did most of the deals come from? So was it organic presence that you have on X primarily
No,
and YouTube, or was it
I
like some sort
thought
of
it would be.
ads?
Yeah, I thought it would be because we have a pretty like decent sized personal brand. The online space is probably 10% of our revenue, if that, like
Hmm.
very small. Most of our revenue actually comes from completely adjacent industries that I did not really predict when we launched. Like, for example, we have a 400-person insurance team, 400 seats, like paid seats. It's
Yeah.
quite large. That's a good vertical. Tech, we've recently closed a couple like 50, 100 million, $200 million ARR businesses like cybersecurity platforms. It's very broad. Paid ads, sales, good sales process, book a call funnel, and product led growth at the same time.
This is very interesting. And how do you land those deals? So I've heard that you are doing the cold calling, or is it
Yeah, we
primarily?
did a bit. To be honest, it was a lot of just paid ads.
Mm-hmm.
Keep it simple. Paid ads, good offer, great creative. Book a call. I get on the call myself, and obviously now we're hiring sales reps. But hop on, present what we have. Diagnose their problems and make a good offer. It's it's the same thing that we try to help people do. We practice what we preach. It's not that complicated at the end of the day if you're good at sales.
And you're also saying that AI is going to replace the bad software. And I know that you go after Gong a lot in your posts. So would you say that Gong is a bad SaaS business?
Setting me up. It's okay. It's not a bad SaaS business. Like, look at the size of them, of
Yeah,
course. Like,
yeah.
they're phenomenal at sales. They have a great sales motion. But from a product level, I think there's a lot left to be desired. I really do. And I think this goes back to the Oracle Larry Ellison sort of a thing. If you've ever read Soft War, the Larry Ellison
Mm-mm.
autobiography or biography, he always talked about picking an enemy. So his enemy was Bill Gates, and they went after Microsoft, like quite famously at a couple conferences and things where they would speak right after each other. And so we're doing that a bit, but within reason. Like for example, the Gong scorecards, and this gets very nerdy, but
Yeah.
the Gong scorecards of telling you how good a call went is a 1 through 5, and I have to self-generate the card to get the scorecard if I'm a manager. What does that tell me about how the call went or how good that rep is? Nothing. It's there to just check a box because they sell to enterprise. And so enterprise can go, oh, okay, we have a sales enablement solution, blah, 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 whatever. Versus Kendo is extremely detailed, it's extremely custom. I can show you exactly why you are good or bad at your sales process, which is custom as well with our scorecards comparatively. And that's, one small feature, but that's synonymous with a lot of these tools now. Is it's a lot of slop, it's a lot of fluff, it's a lot of this enterprise like jargon, but it doesn't actually get to the bottom root issue that the tool is supposed to solve, which is our whole thesis.
Everyone who is watching live, guys, don't click off because Luke is going to give us a walkthrough of his software and teach us quite a few interesting things. This is going to happen in about 6 minutes. Also, in the description, you'll find a link to subscribe to our weekly newsletter where we share all the latest go to market strategies, news, and updates. Look, going back to Gong and the competition. I really want your honest answer because I know there are a lot of software founders that are thinking about this, and I would love to know your thought process. When you're competing with the giants that A, have the cash flow, B,
Mm.
have the talent, C, raise capital to burn on the ads and market awareness, you're relatively a very small fish. How do you survive? Like, what is the leverage? And if the product is the leverage, then isn't it contradicts with the fact that like the big companies can find a really good talent to build a better product that will destroy you?
It's a very good question. I'll give you an example first. Why did Anthropic go from $2 million a year in revenue to like 200 billion ARR?
That's crazy.
While ChatGPT, Gemini, Perplexity, whatever, while all of these companies were crushing, dominating the market, why did Anthropic grow that fast?
Tell me.
Their product. But not just their product, because obviously AI is a thing now. Everyone can make a good product.
Yeah.
You would think. But why was, and now it's not. So they need to take some of their own advice on how they grew. Their product sucks now. GPT is winning the race. Codex is winning the race. Claude Code is
Okay. Okay.
not. But it was much better of a product and an experience to use than the alternatives were. And that's why they grew so fast. The Claude Code was a phenomenal product when it first launched. That doesn't come from necessarily everyone having talent or, like you say, capital or whatever. It's actually, I think, harder to be a bigger company and to innovate and build competitive like product when you are bigger because you are slower. There's way more stuff in the way. There's way more hurdles. And at the end of the day, it comes down to we talk about this all the time internally. It's taste. Like I know what our product needs to be, and I can envision the next 5 years of development. I can like see it in my head because I lived the problem. A Gong or like these other enablement tools, they're so far removed now because they're so large that you often lose that. And that's not like a diss against them. That's what happens with big companies. Look at Apple. Look at
Hmm.
Apple. Apple is not trending upwards. They're getting worse, I would say. And I love Apple.
We
They're
all
they're
use
getting worse.
Apple products, but yeah, we know what you're talking about, right?
Yeah,
Right.
it's the same sort of sickness that plagues these big companies. And so for us, to answer your question, being smaller, having less capital, having less talent on paper, our advantage then becomes how fast we can move, and do we know and are we able to solve the problem better than these big, slower moving companies? If you can do that, you can do what an Anthropic did and take massive market share from ChatGPT very fast, very, very fast. Now, obviously, they have funding. They have a
Yeah, of
crazy, insane
course.
team, whatever. But if you have I think the leadership, you have the actual innovation, and you're just really, really quick. I think you can, especially now more than ever. I think you can compete with giants like in a real, real way. And we are beating out Gong. We are beating out Mind Tickle. These other enablement tools that are hundreds of millions of dollars, billions. We are beating them for deals right now. Like as of the last couple of weeks, we've taken deals where the prospects got on the call and we're like, hey, we're looking at so and so. This is who you're up against. We won the deal. Why? That thesis. That's our whole entire sort of philosophy.
That's interesting. That's interesting. Now, I want your take on where AI is going in the sales market right now.
Mhm.
Do you believe that AI will be able to eventually handle the entire sales process from A to Z? Because relatively, AI can do an okay job with setting an appointment with a person, which is
Mhm.
the thing that happens before the call. And with the follow ups, you can build the automations, you can build the workflows. Right now, the closing process is the the trick where you need to have humans. So, do you see in future AI being that good, where people would want to buy from it?
This is a this is like a philosophical debate. We talk about this a lot as well. I think it's years away if it ever does happen. It's still years away for sure.
Hmm.
But for example, we have AI role play. So we enable and simulate the other side of that conversation, and our role
Hmm.
play is really good. I would say we have top 3 role play in the world of any product.
And is it
It
you role playing with the AI?
to practice selling.
Okay, yeah.
It's the most efficient way to train reps at scale, and it's the
Hmm.
most realistic compared to role playing with like your buddy or something. So
Yes.
if you think about that tech, if we literally just reverse engineer the tech, we now have a salesperson. Because if you can simulate the customer, you can obviously simulate the sales rep, right?
Right. Technically.
But still, it's not going to be as good as a great human. Now, not great sellers, will they get replaced? Probably. I would say the tech will be able to do so. The thing that will happen is it's going to be a social stigma of will people be comfortable with it? I'm looking ahead kind of as a futurist. Look back to when the internet came out and everyone was like, "Oh, I'm never going to buy anything online. I'm going to go to my local department store." Who won that battle, you know? That like, "Oh, I'm never going to date online. I'm going to go meet somebody in person." Well, um, if society is okay with that, and if the sales bots, as you can call them, are designed to be helpful to the customer, I think people will be happy to talk to them. I think they will. But on a high level enterprise sort of your AEs or your like really, really good SDRs, you're never going to get replaced. They're always going to be needed. But the question of the tech being able to do so, I think so.
And going a little bit against your product, what are some things that human sales managers still can do that a software cannot? Or maybe there is nothing.
No,
And
there is for sure.
yeah.
We don't take the human out of the loop, by the way. So
Hmm.
our tool is helpful to managers to do their job better. It helps sales reps do their job better. We don't really replace anybody.
That's
You
good to hear.
cannot you can't get the intangible part of a really good leader out of software. So
Hmm.
like in sales especially, like the best sales teams in the world, they have a great manager. They have great leadership that really plays like that coach role. Think of like a football team. Like what makes the difference between, all these NFL teams? It's probably coaching. Everyone has NFL players, they're all good. Coaching is very important. That's
Yes.
that intangible thing that I don't think software can do. So that's important. Culture is obviously super important. All those intangible things. Now, as far as like what can the AI do, the call reviews, I think we do that better than a manager because it happens without a manager needing to do it,
Yes.
meaning they don't get missed. Data analytics, things like that. But the intangibles for sure, you should keep humans doing that for sure.
That's a really good answer. Now, can you start sharing the screen, please? And I'll just
Yep.
make sure that people can see it here.
Yep. Absolutely. Okay.
I can see it while you're pulling it up, and while I'm showing it to the audience. Can you explain what you're going to be showing?
Yeah, so I mean, I don't want to ramble about features today, but I think the coolest thing that I could show you guys would be our call scoring and then the role play and how the two of those sync together. And that is a unique thing that I don't think anyone else has in quite the way that we do. And any real like sales pros that are listening to this they'll have an aha moment and be like, "Oh, that's really cool." They'll get it.
We can see a screen. Tell us what we're looking at.
Awesome. So this is our role play library. So we do AI role play. It's the most efficient way, and honestly, I think it's the best, most realistic way to train sales reps. Now, this wasn't a thing 2 years ago because the tech had to catch up. The LLMs and the voice models, but I can simulate a real sales conversation, no matter whether it's a cold call, a discovery call, a demo, whatever industry. We work with so many different verticals that are wildly different than each other. And I can allow my team to train against basically the real thing without wasting leads, without wasting calls, and we can train 10 times more. So you literally just click a button, you role play. We can test one out. I don't know if it'll cooperate while we're like screen sharing, but we can see.
We can try.
Um, It's live streamed AI, so it's not like pre-robotic stuff.
Yeah,
It is
yeah.
live streamed. So sometimes when I screen share on Zoom, even on our demos, it gives me some hiccups, but we'll see.
Let's
So
try
this
it
is
out.
this is some sort of prospect. Actually, I should probably look at this. So they're all different. So this is a director of revenue enablement at a B2B IT company, it looks like. And we're just going to do this for a couple of seconds. So I can either do a full call or objection handling mode, which skips the whole front end of the call.
Uh-huh.
Now, we've got two models here. So we have a fast model and then we have a thinking model. Obviously, thinking model is going to give me much more realistic responses. So we'll do that. Start training.
And while you're doing that, so like, can you set it up yourself, like a custom one?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we can do literally anything.
Cool.
That's our biggest question we get on sales calls is customers always being like, "Hey, we're like really unique. Can you do this?" And I'm like, "Listen, we work with so many different random verticals. We can do anything." Because at the end of the day, if you are a truly AI first company like we are, it's all just context and prompt engineering, and then obviously our whole tech stack.
Yes.
But it's really just comes down to that. And so I can make a prospect that sings to you if you wanted,
I
like
mean,
really
we
this.
can, yeah. So we can see it. So is it working right now?
Yeah, I have myself muted because if you
Yeah, it
talk,
will
it will hear you.
interrupt. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm a sales rep. I'm going to literally treat this like it's a real call. I see I'm lagging a little bit on the video here
Yeah,
because my
that's fine.
internet, but
That's fine.
should be able to work. Hey, Nathaniel, can you hear me? Awesome. How's your day going, brother?
We cannot hear it, but I think this is,
You can't hear it?
yeah, I think this is fine. I mean, in terms of like, we can see the chat that is
Yeah.
populating. So it's like,
I don't know if the software we're using to do our live
yeah,
stream
yeah. So it's
enables
probably
me
on
to
our
hear
side.
audio. Anyway, the voices are we have custom voice tech. So we don't like, we don't wrap in 11 labs or something. We've actually built custom voice tech that's proprietary. It is insanely realistic to the point where if I showed this to someone over the age of probably like 45, they would be like, that's a real person. They wouldn't be able to tell. And so I can train a team of 1,000 people now at scale with 10 times more repetition and quality repetition than I ever could. Now, here's the really cool part of what I want to show you and kind of connect these two things.
Yes.
So not only do we do the role play, but we score your live sales calls. So as you can see, these are all really bad scores of mine because I had calls yesterday where I went off script and I was doing the founder thing. I wasn't following our sales process. I was kind of just chatting. So it dinged me for
Okay. Okay. Okay.
as it should.
Yeah.
So, like, here's a call, for example. This was a great sales call, but I did not follow our process. And so, when I talk about the gong thing, we score calls. One, you get this beautiful summary, so I know what happened in the call. We score calls on a 0 to 100, fully custom scorecard. These are generated by AI based on your script or your framework or your methodology, and it uses context that Kendo has about your business.
And
So
let
it's
me
very,
pause you for a sec because yes, you're saying the score, and when you said that you went off script and it scored you low, I immediately thought, but it's great for like a companies that are big and that are like have their own sales process. But what if it's like a smaller company or they're starting out? Like,
Mhm.
do they need to have their own process sales, or is it like Kendo has its own kind of best practices type thing?
Both. So we have a base scoring model that even if I don't apply a scorecard, a score still comes in. It follows a
Hmm.
loose consultative
Yeah,
sales framework.
yeah.
But if I want to get very specific and use like MedPick or NEPQ or Band or my favorite, which is Create with AI, you can paste anything here, and all of our hard work of prompt engineering on the back end turns that into a scorecard, just like this one that you're seeing here. This is my personal scorecard. It's very detailed, as you can see.
Hmm.
Very, very, very
Hmm.
like hyper.
Yes.
A little bit too much to be fair. That's why I get killed on my own scorecard.
So it's just a
um,
shill on X, I guess, that you have so much data on the sales.
we have a lot of data. We do tens of millions of minutes a month right now in call processing. So there's a lot.
That's cool.
But we do have a scorecard. And then this is the stuff that is very important. We give feedback and coaching to the rep, but it's not fluff because, again, it pulls from the context that we have on the business, their methodology, how they sell, their industry, their like everything. We bring a lot of context in so that when we give coaching, it's not just, oh, you should objection handle better. It's like, hey, you got this objection. You did not handle it because of this. You should have said this, and this is why. And then this is what we should do next time. It's very comprehensive. Managers can obviously leave reviews still as well. We want to keep the human in the loop. This just makes it efficient to review calls. And then we pull action items. You have your beautiful transcript, all the basic stuff.
Yes.
Now, here's the part where it usually goes click in people's brain and they're like, oh, that's cool. If, let's say hypothetically, because obviously I'm going to speak well about our product. I'm the founder. If we have the most realistic, accurate scorecards ever,
Okay.
and we can apply those to live calls, that does a lot of things for me. Obviously, I can tell how good we're doing. For example, here's a call this was a closed deal, 60 million ARR company. One of my best sales calls ever, by the way. I got an 80 on this one. So it's accurate. It's very accurate. And it's custom and specific to us. So now I can tell how my reps actually do on live calls. We'll never miss a review again. It happens automatically. But if I can then score those AI role play calls with the exact same scorecard and the exact same system, that opens up a whole new world of possibility of what I can do as a sales organization. Because I can accurately tell, for example, if you role played with this, I can tell you if you're good or not with real data, with our custom scorecard and the way we do things rather than, a guess or hypothetical. And also my training gets tracked and I have real stats on my training. And obviously you got the cliche of like, what doesn't get tracked doesn't get improved, right? 99% of training that sales teams do right now, if they even do any training, is not tracked. And how do I know if we're getting better? I don't. And so I can actually go, and this is where you can see the data. When I get about a 70, like a 73, maybe 68, that's the bottom threshold. If I get that score or higher over hundreds of sales calls that I've done in Kendo, that is a closed deal 9 out of 10 times because I know what my
That's
scorecard
interesting.
looks for.
So once you
And
have the
it's
data, right? It's like more data you
yeah.
have, more you can, make the decisions based on that.
Yes. And so I know for a fact if a rep is in the 60s, that deal is not advancing because they're not obviously doing well. And so we can score our role play and look accurately and be like, okay, this guy has potential. He's doing pretty good. But all of these red calls, these guys are terrible. Like they will not get better,
Gosh.
like they're not going to get better. And you can do a lot with that. You can share these prospects for hiring. So like, let's say I was trying to hire you for Kendo.
Yes.
I could create a share link and share one of these and you role play with it. I score
That's
it. You don't
good.
see your
Yeah,
score.
this is the use case that I was thinking about. So how
Yeah.
well is gonna suit with hiring?
Oh, a lot. Like I don't interview anymore until I see how somebody sells. So I interview for culture and for like, are you the right fit for the company? But we can just stick one of these share links in a hiring form and go, hey, you say you're a great AE and you hit quota every year. Okay, awesome. Go role play. Here's the product. You don't need to know the product very well, but you need to know the process of how you sell.
Yes.
Like, what's your process? And I can tell you literally 99.9% accuracy. Who's good? Who's bad? Who's going to close deals for you? Who's going to waste leads? To like a decimal. We know this for a fact now. So that's the two sort of connected things I wanted to explain. We obviously do a lot more, but that alone, it's a really big time saver. It's a huge revenue driver. Your reps actually get better, like noticeably better. You ramp up incredibly fast. There's a lot of benefit that comes from these things.
I appreciate you sharing that. I do have a very important question that I want to ask, but I want to make sure that you're going to be honest with us. Can I
I'm always
expect?
honest.
Okay. Um, so you are saying that you build most of your features at first at Kendo yourself, right?
Yes.
Do you believe that right now in August 2026, a person who is a good vibe coder with a technical knowledge, working for a company, working for himself, can replicate and copycat your entire product.
No chance. No chance. I
So
can't even
is it
build
the
our own product.
technical thing or is it the way certain things work? Because and the reason why I'm asking is like you're not a developer, right? So like a better developer, there are way better guys than you when it comes to like developing. So my thesis is, oh, but like they can do it all and just copycat it.
Yeah, I mean, you can definitely clone like front end, like UI, and screenshot it and then feed it to your model and be like, "Hey, clone this exactly." You can do that.
Hmm.
But that's about the extent of especially a product like ours where we have live streamed AI, we have insane memory stuff on the back end, we have insane knowledge graphing, we have insane tool calling because we have an agent coming and an MCP that will literally run your entire sales team. That stuff I have no idea how to do. I think I'm quite creative. It's like a just natural skill. I'm creative, so I can sit down and ideate how it should look, work. But then I am not dumb enough to think I can build this and then go sell it to enterprise. No chance in hell I can do that. I then hand this off to our dev team. They are world class. They go make it proper enterprise ready. The right database stuff, the right caching, the right security, all that stuff.
And
But concept wise, that's what I do.
and I also believe that like if I would want to copy that, like sure, right? Like I can hire developers and I can do it, but then it all comes down to, as you said, the judgment and the taste of
Mhm.
you like training like a lot of the sales reps and this UI experience of how the managers would want to interact with the software, how they evaluate, how the scoring works. So the reason why I'm asking this question is because like in the AI era right now, vibe coding, a lot of people can ship things fast, right?
Mhm.
And we're just always trying to like find where the leverage is, right? Like for the founders. That's the only
Yeah.
reason.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's incredible. Like, I had not opened Terminal. I did not know what Terminal was until we launched Kendo. Never in my life had I opened the Terminal app on my Mac ever. I did not know anything about hiring developers. I knew
Yeah.
nothing. Now, I think I'm quite knowledgeable at this point, but it's insane that I can go sit down, build what a feature needs to be, how it needs to work, look, the base functionality, and then hand that off to the professionals. And now this is the advantage that we're talking about versus these big companies. I can go from idea to MVP to them fixing it in a week for a legit, like, for example, we launched a new product. I'll show you this one. This is very cool. So I actually have my environment pulled up here. So this is my local, you can see it says localhost. This is
Yes.
my local environment. So my devs cloned our repo, gave me my own version that I can't break or, lose or anything. So I can build things, come up with an idea, and then they ship it. So I'll show you one, for example. Call routing. So our scorecards are insane, but the problem was arising where if I have a giant organization, I might have people cold calling out of a CRM. I might have, demos coming in on Zoom and
Yes.
all these different things. So I sat here one night and said, "Oh, we need call routing. Let me just invent this. This is my local environment. This was the first version that I built by myself.
Hmm.
So if call comes in from Fathom, filter it by this, assign the scorecard, like that logic.
Yeah.
Look what it's in dev now. Going live tomorrow, I think, actually. Look at what it is. Call routing. How did we do that? Well, again, I built it. I handed it off to my devs. They cleaned it up. It's phenomenal. It's beautiful. It works amazing. This is a huge new feature for us.
That's
So
interesting.
that sort of stuff, like we have a calendar coming, so you don't have to leave your like you don't got to go from Google Calendar to email to grab the call recording to then the CRM. You can just do it all from one
So it's
place
the
in Kendo.
ecosystem. Yeah. So it's the
Yeah.
ecosystem basically.
So like this sort of stuff is what we do. But you cannot ship to enterprise. without pros. Like that is a misbelief that people have.
Right now, we are going to play a little game with you. I'm going to share my screen. I'm pretty sure you are gonna get it very fast. This game is called a green flag and a red flag. So the rules are simple. I am going to give you an objection or a phrase that
Mhm.
a sales rep is going to tell you during the interview. So, what he did or where he comes from. And analyzing only this phrase, you need to either assign this potential sales rep to a green flag person, which is a good sales rep to hire, or a red flag. Got it?
Okay. Yeah, easy enough.
You make your choice, and then you have 10 to 15 seconds to comment on that. You ready?
I'm ready.
So the rep asks about their commission in the first 5 minutes of a call.
This is a not popular one. I say green flag,
Green flag.
and I'll explain why afterwards.
Okay. They had 4 sales jobs in 3 years.
That is probably a red flag.
Red flag.
Yeah.
They talk more than you do on the interview.
Horrible red flag.
Okay. They ask 0 questions about the product.
Also a red flag.
Now, they come from a big company name.
I do not give a fuck. I don't care. So I don't know how we would label this one.
I don't give a
I mean,
fuck
it could
button.
be
I
a
need to
green
add
flag
that.
that you've worked at a big organization before, but that alone doesn't mean anything.
So that's fine.
Whatever
I
we
mean, so it's not red flag at least. So let's put it at green,
No,
I
it's not a
guess.
red flag. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
you're right. Green.
Okay. So they are 50-year-old.
I just had a 50-year-old
Please.
API. I would say red flag. I would
Jesus,
say red
don't
flag.
make them feel bad. Okay. Christ. So you give them a practice calls as a test and they ask to redo that. And in your case, you are giving them this, AI
And they want to
simulation.
redo it because the first one was bad.
Yeah. Yeah.
Red flag.
Okay. They negotiate their base salary.
Green flag.
Green flag.
Yeah.
They're currently unemployed.
Red flag.
Okay, I have a lot of questions. They say they've hit the target every single month.
Are they showing me proof? Do they
Let's
have
say they're
receipts?
just saying. I mean, this is on the call, so like
Well, I would ask for receipts. I don't care what they say.
So let's say yeah. Let's say yes. So then I guess
Yeah.
it's a green flag. Okay, and now would love you to comment on some of the things, starting with they had 4 jobs in the last 3 years. Is it a bad thing?
Yeah, it's not great. I mean, if you're a good sales rep, you are making money. If you're making money and it's not the fault of the company, obviously there are shakeups that happen at companies, but you probably shouldn't go through 4 jobs in 3 years. Something is wrong there, and it's probably you, is what I would assume
And
of the person.
how about the base salary? Because what we hear about is like this is all about commissions, and you've been making $100,000 a month, and I'm pretty sure the majority of that was commissions, right? So, but you put it as a green flag. So why is it a good thing?
Well, I mean, at the end of the day, why are you in sales? Because you want to make a lot of money. Why are you not in another role? You want to make money. I want them to make money. I want you to want to make money. Like that, the best reps want to be rich, you know? So it depends how they do it. But if it's just a very frank conversation of like, hey, I applied for the role, what's the commission? What's the base? What's the pay? What's the comp? What's the target? What's my quota? I want to talk about those numbers because if you're a
Mm-hmm.
savage, you totally want to know those numbers so you know how high you can go and what you can hit. Obviously, it's nuanced to how it's done, but I would say green flag.
That's interesting. Look, that was pretty much it. Now, the last part of the show is gonna be a blitz, which is me shooting questions to you very fast, and you reply either fast or expand on your answer. Ready? Cold
Ready?
call or cold email for a brand new rep?
Cold call.
Would you hire a rep with no experience?
No.
How many bad months before you fire a rep?
Oh man, that depends. Three, two or three.
Free trial or a demo?
Now in the era of AI, free trial.
Would you take a customer you know is a bad fit?
No, of course not.
Best AI model for building software right now?
Best AI model,
Yes.
GPT 5.6 Soul on Medium, believe it or not.
Hmm. This is interesting. X or LinkedIn for founders selling software?
I hate LinkedIn, but the money is on LinkedIn, but I love X. So I do both. But I don't log into LinkedIn. My team does. It's bad.
Miami forever or you're planning to move on?
Uh when we hit the big payday one day, I will still probably have a place down here, but I'm probably going to a ranch somewhere in the middle of nowhere.
The last question that I ask a lot of guests on this show: if you get offered a role at OpenAI or Anthropic, would you ever consider quitting the dream of becoming an entrepreneur and closing your startup?
No. There's like literally zero chance that I would go to either of those companies. Zero.
Any other
Zero.
company, or it's just them?
Uh, I mean, maybe, but not really. To be honest, I know myself pretty well. I'm not a entrepreneur. I'm an entrepreneur. I would, yeah, probably not. It'd have to be somebody I very much respected for me to join a company.
Look, welcome. Sorry, welcome. I'm so tired. Thanks for being on the show. Where people can find you?
Luke Alexander on everything.
We'll post the links, guys, in the chat now. If you do have any questions, you can tag Luke in one of the posts that we're going to be making on this show, and I'm pretty sure he'll be happy to reply to your questions. Man, I appreciate you coming to the show. Talk to you soon.
Thank you so much for having me, man. It was a pleasure.
Yeah, cheers. Okay, guys, so that was Luke with his sales-based startup. Again, as I was always saying, we're trying to get the very different guests on this show, and Luke is the GOAT when it comes to doing the sales calls and closing high ticket deals. This is why he built his own company. It was very interesting to see his perspective on hiring the sales reps and actually the difference between you building a software within the AI and you having the backend knowledge on the industry and then using it as the leverage to build something great. Again, we are going live every day, 12 p.m. Eastern time on X, LinkedIn, and YouTube right now. I think we're also live on Facebook. Tomorrow gonna be Friday. Very interesting day. We're gonna see you then. Take care.